And now we return to 24 Hours of a Christmas Story on TNT. I'm glad they don't do that anymore. I'm glad that they stopped.
I thought it was AMC.
I thought I saw somebody post that they were doing that this past year.
Oh.
They still do that. I think it's AMC.
Maybe AMC did it. But yeah, it was TBS. 24 Hours of a Christmas Story. Oh gosh. So I guess they're still doing it. Damn it. I like this don't mince it up. I love this movie. I think it's one of the best Christmas movies ever. But there is such a thing as overexposure that
and
can
you don't
make.
have to leave the channel on that channel all day.
Yeah, of course, build up to it. Be like, hey, A Christmas Story is going to be playing at 8 p.m. tonight or 7 p.m. tonight. Watch it with your family.
Or you have it on a 24-hour channel, or whenever your family is ready to watch it, you can catch the next showing of it.
Yeah.
I think that's the point.
It's not like you have to keep watching it over and over again, torturing yourself all day.
But it's not. But it's just the overabundance of it makes it to where it detracts from the overall impact that the film is supposed to have. At least in my opinion.
Never has for me. It's always remained one of my favorites.
I haven't watched it in a long time.
It still holds up as one of the best ever. And that's no doubt. God. So, A Christmas Story. There's been several attempts to continue A Christmas Story. Because they did, what was the name of it? It had Charles Grodin replacing Darren McGavin as the dad. And Mary Steenburgen replacing the mother. But it was
need a continuation.
Well, here's the thing. They did that. Then they did A Christmas Story 2, which dealt with like a teenage Ralphie. Then they did the musical version of A Christmas Story. And then they did, it was like A Christmas Story 20 plus years later. And honestly, some of them are necessary, some of them are very much, okay, most of them are very much unnecessary. But anyway, I wonder what Doug's going to say about it. Knowing him, he's probably going to have a few things to say. But anyway, let's go ahead and check it out. Well, let's see what the Nostalgia Critic has in store for us. Here we go. Probably an ad in the beginning.
This show is brought to you by Built Rewards.
There we go.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy, remember? So you don't have to.
Hi, Doug.
Well, it's after Christmas. It's the 40th anniversary of this. Somehow this feels right.
Fair enough.
It also just feels
As I've
late
mentioned,
because it's mid-January right now.
It is, but honestly, we didn't have snow for Christmas, so...
True, it is very snowy out right now.
Yes.
To be honest, last night...
7 inches of snow, so...
Yes.
When I smoked my last cigarette last night and it was just all snowy out and stuff, I was like, seasonal depression. For half a second, I debated on coming back inside and watching Home Alone just because it helps.
It does, yeah.
So.
Countless times on this channel, A Christmas Story went from that charming secret movie you discovered to a kitsch marketing nightmare overexposed at every turn. Yet, for all its merchandise, musicals, sequels, live shows, and marathons that started more marathons?
Who are you people?
I have to admit, none of that deters me from still enjoying this flick. But
Exactly.
yes, because it has been all over the place for so long, I don't mind talking about it after the Christmas buzz has died down. Is it talked about too much? Probably. But now that people are realizing that and starting to talk about it less, of course, that's when I come in and say, hey, maybe we should talk about more. What a contrarian asshole. With that said, what is it about this film that still makes me enjoy it despite so many factors trying to stop me from enjoying it? Well, let's take a closer look. This is a Christmas story after Christmas, because you brought this on yourself, movie. The film opens in the 40s with a narration from the author of the book this was based on, Gene Shepard, who's both a perfect and imperfect narrator. Don't get me wrong, he has a kind, well-spoken voice, but he also kind of sounds like the Schmucker's jelly guy if he was a little drunk and ready to deck you if you say, maybe you shouldn't bring your...
I'm sorry, but Randy's face always killed me. Like, whenever he was talking during this, I was just like, oh, yeah, like, oh, so it's Ralphie talking. He's like, nope, Randy just going full pig mode.
I did that shit as a kid on the front door, and my mom was so pissed when she saw the fucking print it left on the door.
I did it on my grandma's, like...
She's like, take this spray and take these paper towels and clean the door right now.
I did it on my grandma's outer deck door, and I just remember, like, it was a sliding door, too. So I would get on there, and I was like, just hear... just like me sliding it back and forth like a moron.
Pistol to parties.
Smucker's is naturally good because it's naturally made.
In his hand was the knurled stock of as coolly deadly looking a piece of weaponry as ever I had laid eyes on.
It's my Second Amendment right to show your 3-year-old how to protect herself from communists. It gives both him and the film a soft edge, but still an edge.
Come on, Ralphie, I got your flowers!
This is Ralphie, played by Peter Billingsley, who obsesses over getting the Red Ryder BB gun, despite his mother refusing to get it for him.
You'll
I want an official Red Ryder Carbine Action 2-inch range ball air rifle.
Ooh. Shoot your eye out.
With what? I don't even know what he asked for. I just said, rifle. Actually, that's one of the things I like about this movie. The kids aren't too Hollywood. I'm all for empowering children, but I feel like a lot of movies make them a little too confident to the point where they don't feel real. Ralphie and his brother Randy can be funny, but they feel like real kids. And I think a lot of that is because they allow them to be vulnerable. When one of them is hurt, they don't just say a quippy line, they legit break down. Whether the film let them be more emotional because it's the 40s or because kids are friggin' emotional.
Dad's gonna kill Ralphie.
I love that scene.
Me too. Like, you want to stay under there? Mm-hmm. Okay. Leaves him under the sink.
It gives a welcome realism and heart to what's in many respects a light comedy.
Mothers know nothing about creeping marauders burrowing through the snow toward the kitchen.
Speaking of which, this begins one of many fantasies Ralph has that, yes, are pretty silly, but I feel like do reflect the emotions of what he's going through. It isn't just him imagining himself with the BB gun, it's him showing his mother she was wrong about not letting him get one. All the fantasies are fueled by what he's feeling in the moment, which is something the random fantasies in the spin-offs usually miss. It also gives the actors a chance to go delightfully over the top.
I just know those bad guys would be coming for us in the end.
This whole fantasy...
It's played so perfectly.
Yep.
And also, Darren McGavin, dude.
My favorite one still, though, is like, what brought you to this fate, Ralphie? 'Twas so poisoning.
Oh!
Goodness.
I'm sorry. I love it all so much. And then, of course, Darren McGavin, the old man, swearing in his daily wars with the furnace.
Mm-hmm.
Fantasy is worth it just for that reaction. The film also does a good job of really making it feel like it's the 40s. Not only is this a fantasy a kid back then would have, but I still know so many people who swear this movie was produced in the 60s or 70s. It just has that old-timey feel to it. And yes, despite it taking place in the 40s, it captures a lot of timeless elements around Christmas time, like getting dressed for winter.
I can't put my arms down!
See, this is the scene I always want to show everyone when they're like, I love winter because you can always put on more layers. And I'm like, yeah, till you can't put your arms down.
Well, you can put your arms down and go, ah!
Put your arms down when you get to school.
No, really. How did he get out of that coat when he got to school? He clearly
Because
has
the
no
teacher
friends.
had to help him.
Hey, listen.
I also love whenever Scott Farkas pushes Randy down. It's just like Randy lay there like a slug.
Yeah.
It was his only defense.
Yeah.
So good.
Smartass.
Ralphie has friends, though, who swear up a storm because, again, this film wants to capture as much realism in a PG movie as possible and not whatever comments Wreck-It Ralph 2's PG rating got. Harsh stuff, Internet.
Well, go on, smartass, and do it.
One friend dares another to stick his
Damn
tongue
it,
to a
Schwartz.
pole because he believes it won't stick. No, you fool, don't put it on the one with a tiny hole that has a vacuum in it. No, really, that's how they did this effect.
What are you gonna do? I don't know the film.
Don't name me.
At least he'll make it far in the corporate world. Adam's stuck in a fire!
Yeah, but these deadlines, man.
Oh, you're right, man. I'm selfish. They get the kid off the pole, but their troubles don't stop there, as the school bully named Scott Farkas, maybe the best bully name in anything,
Yes.
constantly chases them after class.
There was also a kid that was kind of a bully at my school that looked just fucking like him, too.
Ha 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 ha.
My mom was like, holy crap, it's Jason. Like, every fucking time. Like, she watched this movie, she's like, I still swear that's him.
Scott Farkas. What a rotten name. He had yellow eyes. So help me God, yellow eyes. His laugh as well.
Yeah.
This kid has both the most natural and unnatural evil laugh. It's almost like he's shouting to you his evil laugh in case you forgot it.
You see, I've actually heard
Ruffy.
bullies laugh like that whenever they, like, see something happen to somebody. Like, I've heard that exact, like, sound at school. Like, when something
I have as
bad
well.
happened to someone, like, somebody pants somebody.
Yeah, I have as well.
Jesus Christ, man.
Has to write a report about what he wants for Christmas, so of course he chooses the Red Ryder BB gun.
What I want for Christmas is a Red Ryder BB gun with a compass and a stock and this thing which tells time. Wow, that's great.
Me and the poet at Obama's
Wow, that's great.
Inauguration. Those are the only writers we'll be talking about for years.
Ugh.
His father has good news too. Apparently he won a prize that'll be delivered to his house later that
It's a
night.
major award.
right on in, right here.
His and hey, it's the guy who directed Baby Geniuses. I'm allowed at least one of those. It's also the guy
yeah.
who directed Black Christmas, so if Ralphie grows up to be this serial killer, that would track.
You know, that's the amazing thing about it. Bob Clark, the guy that directed this Black Christmas, he also directed Porky's. You ever seen that?
No.
Easily one of the funniest, like just R-rated sex It was before American Pie. There was Porky's, and it was
It's way raunchier than American Pie, too.
yeah, because they get away with a lot more back then. But also, Jesus Christ, I have not laughed that hard in my entire life. I literally laughed so hard watching Porky's, I passed out.
Tell me the guy who committed those killings didn't see this as a child.
Oh,
What is it? It's a leg.
It's an eyesore for people who love to decorate their houses in eyesores, as well as every one-legged person's Halloween costume.
oh.
This is a lamp.
I do legit buy the father
He's
loves the
got two
lamp
of
not
those.
because it's sexy, but because he won it. It could literally be a lamp of Steven Seagal, and he would love it just as much.
Yes.
You know your mom gave
It's a
me
major
that
award.
2 years in a row, right?
Yes, I know.
But I didn't have the heart to tell her.
I love my mom to death, but what do you want? But what do I
I was like, oh yeah, he'll love it.
So my mom always
I'll put
agreed
it right
with
next
her,
to the other
and
one I
she
got.
hated that lamp, and I never understood why, because I was just a stupid, innocent kid. I
Well,
was always like, it's a lamp that's a leg, it's funny, like, I don't get it. Like, and then I got older, and I was like,
well,
it's a sexy lamp.
well.
I
Here's the
gotcha.
thing: if it were just the leg up to here, that'd be one thing. The fact that it has
got a little-
half of an ass cheek,
Yeah, it's got a little butt cheek crease.
yeah, the fact that it has half an ass cheek
And
is
that's
like,
supposed to be her skirt.
yeah.
Shucks, I wouldn't have known, Dad. It looks like a lamb.
That's the director, by the way. And I kind of love the fact he doesn't look like a person who would direct this or any of these movies, but he does look like a guy who would direct Porky's.
Yes!
Yeah.
When Ralph hands in his report, he has the one fantasy I guess you could argue isn't emotionally motivated, but I don't know. I think you can still say he's thinking about showing his mother how wrong she was with the BB gun. A part of me wonders if they had her there looking defeated in an earlier draft, but then again, that would ruin her other daydreaming cameo later. How a YouTuber who makes a movie always thinks their film is going to be accepted.
Okay, I appreciate Doug for taking the piss out of himself. Because look, he's made films in the past, and he's dumped a lot into them. And everyone was just like, wow, this guy's really taking himself too seriously. And Doug's just like, I just wanted to make movies for me and my friends to have fun with.
The timing of that, considering ours is almost done.
Well, it's uploaded. I'm working on the subtitles. And I'm also going to be making a preview for it, so y'all be on the lookout for that.
So they said he was taking himself too seriously. Like, we took ours pretty seriously, so.
Yeah.
Tyre and Ralphie accidentally lets out the F-bomb without actually letting out the F-bomb.
Fudge.
Only I didn't say fudge. I said the word.
Come on, you were made in the 80s. You're allowed at least one in a PG movie. No, there is something funny about parents having to lean over and tell their kids, he means fuck, dear.
You know what your son just said. Ready?
I love when they tell Randy to step away and he just steps right back in.
Ralphie!
Don't worry, some people make a very good living saying that word over and over.
Should have put a picture of the angry video game nerd up there too. Jesus.
I'm sure many of you listening are renters. It's very easy to feel like you're getting the short end of the stick, paying rent month after month, and nothing to show for it after years. But I found this company called Built Rewards that changes that. Built lets you earn points on your rent payments and gets you access to exclusive benefits each month. From travel perks with top airlines and hotels to free fitness classes, paying rent has never been so rewarding. You can use Built points towards future rent payments, your next vacation, or use them towards down payment on a house or condo. The Built MasterCard points has consistently ranked the highest value point currency by publications such as The Points Guy and Bankrate. I just wish I had the Built card back when I was a renter. Earn points by renting right now when you go to BuiltRewards.com/nostalgia. That's BILT Rewards.com/nostalgia. Make sure to use our URL so they know we sent you. BuiltRewards.com/nostalgia to start earning points with your rent payments today. Terms apply. Doug plays Spider-Man 2 every Friday on Twitch. We also have content 5 days a week. Hope to see you there. Ralphie gets his mouth washed out with soap and has to tell where he heard that word.
Now, I had heard that word at least 10 times a day from my old man.
Did you, though? I think it was very much the Yosemite Sam Home Alone Joe Pesci variety.
Dumb friend, I'll stickle viper!
He says he heard it from his friend Schwartz, so his mother gives Schwartz's mother a call.
Do you know what Ralph just said? He said...
No, not that.
We reenacted the whipping part. That was...
Do you know where he heard it?
It's from his father.
He heard it from your son. What'd I do, Mom? Ah! Oh, gosh.
In the 40s, everything past the D word was the C word. Schwartz's mom doesn't take her son saying that word very well.
He heard it from your son.
Glad to know Schwartz's mom is a cartoon witch in the Evil Dead hand. Ralphie has another fantasy, this one I know every kid has, the pity fantasy. The oh won't they be sorry they punish me because... insert stupid reason here.
It was soap poisoning.
This is how an influencer thinks someone's gonna react when they block them on social media. In one scene that I acknowledge is funny, but also acknowledge is entirely pointless. He decodes what he thinks is an important message tied into the Little Orphan Annie show.
That's a message from Annie herself. Remember, don't tell anyone.
Now, like I said, this is pretty funny and builds up how kids can get really overhyped for something that's probably not worth it. Kids. But if you were to cut it out, you wouldn't miss a thing.
Be sure to what?
But again, Ralphie's reaction to it just being a commercial does make it really funny.
A crummy commercial? Son of a bitch.
Sorry, I love a family Christmas movie that needs a swear jar. Also gotta love this immature edit.
Poop.
The mother apparently knocks over the lamp by accident, which of course leads to a great reaction from the father.
Get the glue.
We're out of glue.
Divorce. Of course, he eventually gets over it, unlike Ralphie, who can't get over the fact that he only got a C+ on his report.
C+? Oh no, it can't be.
Kid, I'd be happy to get a C+ on anything. I fridge my C+. But to his credit, this grading is pretty whack. There's literally nothing else written on the page. She just doesn't like the toy. Well, you know what? It's for sale. It's in the window. It's legally allowed. This would be like me giving a kid a bad grade because they wrote about Pokemon and I was like, Pokemon's dumb, you're dumb. How would that educate anybody? Though Christ, how do these actresses do so well being such believable authority figures and then such believable hams at the same time?
You'll shoot your eye out! You'll shoot your eye out!
By the way, is that where this idea started? Things get worse
my
when Scott throws a
God.
snowball at Ralphie, causing him to finally crack, breaking his glasses in the scuffle.
You Thornton over them nipple bang dunk stick.
I feel like every kid has a blow-up like this too, and it's not like these are really good punches he's throwing. He's just so angry he doesn't even know how to attack, and it ironically works.
Oh my God.
He's that guy who lives down by the track in Dick Tracy.
Ralphie's mother comes to help, but sees he's an emotional wreck because he destroyed his glasses. Afraid he's gonna face the consequences from his old man, his mother saves the day with an extra pair.
I slowly began to realize I was not about to be destroyed.
I wasn't gonna be like my third brother. I mean, two. There's only two of us.
My
He
God.
realizes he owes his mother big time, so he stops pushing her for the BB gun. But that's when he puts together he can ask Santa at the mall. So they decide to go there after watching the Christmas parade.
To my knowledge, it didn't break his glasses. Like, he just forgot them. And she, like, that's a little bit of an oversight there.
Yeah, like
Because he breaks his glasses later.
Snowball just knocked him off,
Yeah.
and I think he thought that he lost him, but like he also thought his mom was gonna tell his dad about all the cursing and stuff while he was beating the crap out of Farkas.
Yeah.
Hey, back off! Don't make me buy you! Yeah, with what money?
That's fair. They get in line for Santa, and when the author himself says no cutsies, you kinda gotta listen. And they walk up to one of my favorite Santas of all time. We've seen plenty of bad Santas over the years. Hell, some literally have that name. But this one's so much fun because he both really doesn't care and cares too much at the same time.
And what do you want for Christmas, Billy? A toy truck and a mobile.
I love how he both can't wait to be finished and rushes kids off, but then he'll also go crazy hard with the laugh and take too long with kids that probably don't deserve that much time.
Then what's your name, little boy?
He cracks me up, and I've never seen an R Santa like him. He's one of my faves.
Okay, get him out of here.
When Ralphie freezes up, though, he realizes he's missing his opportunity and tries to get his gift across.
Officer Red Undercover, I should you want to get rid of my rifle.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Is this toy like the Four Loko of its day? Did everyone just have a feeling it was going to be dangerous? Oh shit, I forgot about this kid.
I like the Wizard of Oz.
Do I need to say anything else about him? He's gold. Anyway, they wake up on Christmas morning to find their toys under the tree. Some they're ecstatic to have, others not so much.
Immediately, my feet began to sweat as those two fluffy little bunnies with the blue button eyes stared sappily up at me.
With all the tie-ins done over the years, how did the Energizer Bunny never nab this?
Shit, he's right.
For as iconic as this image is, I actually don't find it that funny. I think the leg lamp, for as overexposed as it is, thank you, tip your waitress, is more odd and one of a kind and sticks out more, where this just kind of feels like standard family film fare. But again, it's followed by a great scene, that being Ralphie getting the BB gun from his father. Now, so many people here always watch the wrong performance. They're like, oh, Ralphie got what he wanted. Yay, a capitalist love story. Shut up, you're supposed to be watching the father. His performance here is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Everyone wants so many messages spelled out in their Christmas movies, but just watch him relive his childhood through Ralphie. Watching him open it is the exact same as watching himself open it when he was that age.
Yeah.
Careful.
And you see, my dad had those moments.
Well, I mean, it works both ways. Like, when you're a kid, you're watching Ralphie, you're like, oh, that would be so cool.
When you're
like,
an
if there
adult,
was just, like, a certain thing I wanted, and, like, I thought I didn't get it, and then all of a sudden my dad's like, hey, look over there, what's that? You know?
yeah.
But when you're an adult, it's just kind of like, oh, yeah, it's like, it's really funny to watch him just be like, yeah!
I remember, it wasn't my dad, it was my granddad. My granddad, when he bought me my first gun, my first legitimate gun, it was my 30-30 that I still have up in my room. He got one for me, and he got one for my cousin Josh. And I remembered he sat down beside of us, and he told us, he said this, he said, this thing right here, it ain't no toy, so you need to be careful with it. I mean, even when it's not loaded, it's loaded. Treat it like it's loaded, all right? Don't point it at someone or don't point it at anything unless you intend to use it.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And basically, I basically saw in his eyes that he was proud of us and everything, and he was happy to have that moment with us.
Another thing I wonder, by the way, is if he was debating on getting it for him, but he didn't want to piss her off, but when she broke his lamp and he went out there
That's
glued,
another thing.
he was just like, you know what? I'm going to get it for him.
Exactly.
She can get over it.
Exactly. It's like, she wants me to get over my lamp, she can get over the Red Ryder BB gun.
Yeah.
Oh, they run all over.
Not a finger.
Close it up. Close it up.
A lesser performance wouldn't have gotten that across, and honestly, most of the sentimental moments are the mother's. He doesn't get that many. But the character more than makes up for it here. I don't care how overplayed this film is, these are some phenomenal scenes.
Yes.
But I guess you can't say they didn't give us spoilers. He shoots his eye out.
Oh my God, I shot my eye out.
I would pay hard cash if that's actually what happened. It does damage his glasses, though, so that nice scene of the father reliving his second childhood might be turning into a beating soon. But Ralphie makes up an excuse that an icicle hit him, and his mother believes him.
What about my glasses?
Well, you can wear the old ones with the crack in them until we get you some new ones.
Wait, I thought he was concerned about his father earlier. Wait, I thought she already gave him the spare. Wait, there's a lot of things I'm realizing I didn't follow in this. Well, it doesn't matter because the mother left the door open, allowing the dogs to ruin Christmas dinner. Off to the scene that probably aged the poorest.
Dig the hole!
No, it doesn't age poorly. It's true. Chinese don't celebrate Christmas. At least the restaurants in my hometown.
I think he's talking about because of the way they're singing the song.
Do you know the interesting fact? They actually asked these dudes to sing it like as best they could. And this is the best they could do.
Oh, really?
Yes. It's not like they went in and said, sing it in an offensive way. No. Oh, God. People always do that shit. Just
I guess people think it's offensive that we find that funny.
It's funny because it's a cultural difference.
It's funny because it's true.
It's funny because it's a cultural difference, and
and the English language is the hardest for people to learn.
It's up there.
Outside of, I mean.
Well, literally, like in Japanese at least, it doesn't really cross over the same way as far as I know, like with the Chinese language. But it might, I don't know. But I can tell you, Japanese for sure, R and L are like an interchangeable letter in their language. So they use that for lots of things that would be like an L or an R if they borrow that word from another language. So when they go learning like English, they now have to try to differentiate between two different sounds that they've always used as the same sound, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just anyone who finds this offensive, it's just like this was literally just This is literally a spur-of-the-moment kind of thing.
I guarantee you that 99% of the people that find this offensive are white people that are being offended on the behalf of Asian people in the first place. So.
Yes.
With power of glory,
Look, I'm not gonna act like I don't tug at my collar a little bit when I watch this moment. But there are still some great laughs. First off, the Chinese restaurant clearly being a bowling alley first is hilarious. And apparently this whole scene with the goose was improvised. The father had some clue what was coming and the chef and waiters were all in on it, but the mother and kids weren't.
Oh, that explains her reaction.
Yes. That's the thing.
That wasn't just overacting, like that was like her actual reaction.
But you see, that's the thing. Bob Clark loved improvisational, like, surprise scenes. That's why a lot of this scene here was shot, it was shot later in production, and none of this was in the script.
And again, that's why I really, really wanted to do my one idea for our film, but we didn't get to do it.
I know. And
hopefully we have a chance to do that in one of the other episodes.
Maybe. Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
I mean, unless you already told him about it.
I didn't. Okay. I didn't tell him. And if Marcus were to find that out, he'd probably have words with me. He'd be like, I ain't doing another one of these if y'all gonna pull that shit.
I mean, it's not like he thinks they're gonna be like real or anything, you know?
I know, it's just...
Yeah, I just want it to be like a, what? type of deal, you know? Like, you know?
I know what you mean.
It's like, they didn't tell me they were going to be doing that. What the fuck?
Legit reactions.
Smiling at
me. That's pretty amazing. We then get my favorite scene.
God bless you, Bob Clark. You are missed. I think he passed away not too long ago, actually.
In the movie, and honestly, maybe my favorite Christmas moment of all time.
Oh, honey, come over here. Look at this.
Ooh, is that beautiful?
That's it. Nothing else. But isn't it perfect?
It's up there.
Do you really need a rom-com telling you the meaning of Christmas or 5 subplots for the Grinch or... Okay, admittedly, what I do every year over explaining, hey, I'm a critic, it comes with the territory. Oftentimes, no. All you need is a good, believable couple with good chemistry sharing a believable, loving moment. You've either seen couples like this, or if you're lucky enough, are a couple like this. And the movie captures such a simple yet important moment in a matter of seconds with almost no dialogue. It is so warm, so genuine, so Christmas to me. And that ends with Ralphie sleeping with his gun like a psycho. But I'm sorry, it's perfect. It balances that last part out, it's perfect.
That's what always makes me wish it would snow on just Christmas Day. It never freaking does. Always waits till mid-January, and then it's...
It did in 2020.
Yeah, it did. But it was 2020.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said.
No, but it was 2020, and what happened in 2020?
It was a horrible year in general, so it's just like everybody tries to forget that year, so I forgot it even did, to be honest.
The fact that we're in 2024 right now, and oh gosh, I'm making myself feel old. Anyway.
Me throughout this review saying, oh, it does one thing and it also does the opposite at the same time. That isn't just me lazily repeating the same thing. I mean, I guess it's that too, but it's also pointing out why this movie is so great, because it does that a lot, and I think the whole film is kind of that. It reminds me of this Frasier episode where he wants to get his son an educational toy for Christmas.
Precocious, he needs to be challenged.
Oh, challenge him the other 364 days. One day out of the year, indulge him. Let him be a kid.
Exactly. We have enough Christmas movies saying don't be selfish. Here's one that's saying being a little selfish is okay. If anything, it's totally human. We want kids to appreciate what they have, but also what they're receiving, whether it be a toy gun, experiences with your friends, or just a nice snowy evening. This isn't a movie that has a huge, important message. I mean, it has a few little lessons here and there, stand up for yourself, trust the ones you love, etc. But it just wants to represent Christmas as honestly as possible, particularly from a kid's point of view, combining a fair amount of optimism, but also a heavy hint of cynicism. The film is both broad enough to be anyone's Christmas, but also specific enough to just be this one family's. A lot of families have had moments like this, but not with these exact details. But it's all about commercialism and products, and yeah, when you're a kid, that is all it is. And when you're an adult, it's about something else. And you know where that something else is represented? With the adults! Don't get me wrong, I love my Christmas movies that have deep and heavy messages, but I also love the ones that capture both the excitement and silly wonder of being a kid around this time, while allowing you to see it through the point of view of both the kids and the adults, if you're paying attention. For as much as I hate how overexposed it's been over the years, the movie is just so good it doesn't hurt my feelings on it whatsoever. So, whether you love it, hate it, or just add it to the pile of other Christmas media, it's good knowing that 40 years later, and probably 40 years after that, it's still going to be talked about. Just hopefully the right amount it's supposed to be talked about. I'm a nostalgia critic guy, remember? So you don't have to.
Good outro sizzle there, Critic.
Yeah.
I will say this, you know, that we talk about those. Yeah, they talked about like that perfect Christmas moment there at the end with the mom and the dad sitting by the Christmas tree, watching the snow, and it's a pure, perfect Christmas moment. But it's in a great film. It's in an amazingly great film. So it gets for me, there is one film, god-awful film. Holy shit, is it a bad film. But there is one point in that film where I don't know what it is, man. I think it's the choice of music and the fact that it's two actors who have a lot of chemistry together. But the one part of Look Who's Talking Now, you know the Look Who's Talking movies, right? John Travolta, Kirstie Alley. Well, the third one's considered the worst one because it involves talking dogs. Which, the fact that one of the dogs was voiced by Danny DeVito, it isn't enough to save it, sadly. But there is a pure moment of just like joy and togetherness, like, you know, like the holidays and like being together during the holidays. It's whenever, you know, they're out looking for, you know, John Travolta's character. He's out in the middle of the woods in this cabin, and they decide to go and pick him up for Christmas, and they wind up getting in an accident and being stranded at a ranger station. And John Travolta gets led to that ranger station by the dog, and he walks in right as Kirstie Alley sees him walking in, and it's just that pure jubilation of them seeing each other on Christmas. And it's just like, damn. That to me was, as a kid, I realized that was a pure moment of just bliss, where you know, it's just like you're finally like able to be with the people that matter most to you during that holiday, and just, you know, running up and giving him a hug.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like the ending scene to Home Alone, like
that too,
where his mom finally comes in. And, you know, the music like makes it so much like above what it even like could have been, you know, for me too, because it's just that yet again I always rant about that soundtrack.
I think it's that.
You know.
Yeah, I think it's that.
So good.
Plus the old man at the end finally reuniting with his family.
That too, yeah.
That, like, those two moments.
Those scenes are awesome.
Those two moments back to back are just two of the most perfect Christmas movie moments.
Like wholesome 100% moments.
Yes,
basically.
I love those. Love those moments. Oh, God. Anyway, I think that's gonna do it though, everybody. That was A Christmas Story review by the Nostalgia Critic. Do you agree with him? Feel free to let us know in the comments down below.
I agree with him.
I do too. And yeah, I guess that's gonna do it. So until next time, I'm Nate.
I'm Kate.
I am Nick.
Y'all be good people. Take care. Peace.